The Supreme Court of Kenya has returned a petition challenging the National Social Security Fund Act of 2013 to the Court of Appeal and has held that the Employment and Labor Relations Court had jurisdiction to determine the case despite an earlier decision by the Court of Appeal to the contrary. Now, the Supreme Court held that the Court of Appeal was wrong in finding that the Labour Court has no powers to hear the case challenging the change in NSSF laws. As Emily Chebet reports, the Supreme Court said the Court of Appeal needs to consider the matter afresh and determine it urgently.
In the case filed by the Kenya Tea Growers Association, Agricultural Employers Association and the County Pensioners Association, the Employment and Labor Relations Court had found the NSSF Act unconstitutional for reasons that it had implications on county government's finances and therefore ought to have been tabled before the Senate. It imposed registration as precondition to accessing public services, and parts of it usurped the SRC's mandate to approve remuneration payable to the NSSF board, and that the act would stifle or kill other pension providers as petitioners had pleaded. An appeal at the Court of Appeal that had the Employment and Labor Relations Court decision overturned. The Court of Appeal found that the Employment and Labor Relations Court lacked jurisdiction to determine the constitutional validity of the NSSF Act 2013, which it ruled was a function of the High Court. The Court of Appeal also found that the Employment Court was wrong in ruling that there was need for concurrence of the Senate and the national government for required in enacting the NSSF Act 2013. The Supreme Court found that the Employment Court had jurisdiction to determine the constitutional validity of the Act, as it introduces enhanced and mandatory contributory amounts of employees' earnings. The Supreme Court also found that the Court of Appeal should not have addressed itself to substantive issues raised in the case after determining that the proceedings and the judgment of the Employment Court were a nullity. The Supreme Court saying that the Court of Appeal should have remitted the case to the court with jurisdiction without going into the merits of the dispute. The Supreme Court returned the matter to Court of Appeal to determine the merits of the Employment and Labor Relations Court judgment on urgent basis. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV, Nairobi.